still a lot of pandemonium outside the airport.
Well, there is, but look, but no one's being killed right now. God forgive me if I'm wrong about that, but no one's being killed right now.
All right, guys, so we have some very, very, very unfortunate news to discuss today as 12 U.S. service members were killed in explosions outside of Kabul airport in Afghanistan amid evacuations. Now, I just want to say this real quick that my thoughts and prayers are with those service members that are deceased and their family members. I think it's important that we pray for our heroes abroad and their family members. Okay. Now, whether you're religious or not, hey, it is what it is. I get it. Some of you guys may be, some of you guys may not be, but I do think that prayer is important, whether you believe in it or not. So, with that being said, how do we get here? Well, here's the thing. Biden, in a press conference a few days ago, I believe, and I covered this, he said that this is what he was afraid of. He was afraid of this scenario, a scenario in which there is a attack carried out outside of that airport. Because, guys, you got to keep in mind, with that airport, there's so many people gathered around, okay? Whether that's U.S. military members, Afghanistan citizens, the Taliban, and other people, okay? And essentially, it's a target. It's a target for an attack like this. And what the Biden administration was worried about, and again, he said this before, is this group called ISIS-K, whom supposed to be fighting the Taliban, right? They're the group that we're supposed to be relying on the Taliban to fight. It's probably a naive and foolish assumption for us to, rely on them to do that, but that's who they're supposed to be fighting in Afghanistan, and it is believed that they're the ones that are behind this attack. Now, with that being said, it kind of starts to now make a lot more sense in regards to why Biden has been so gun-ho about withdrawing. Because, guys, you remember, this whole time Biden has been hesitant to really confront the Taliban about, why they're not letting American citizens through, about them slowing up the evacuation process, about them not being cooperative, because he wants to avoid confrontation, right? It's very, very clear that he wants to avoid confrontation. He doesn't want any U.S. military members killed because we haven't had any killed since February 2020, right? Since under Trump. So it looked really bad for him if, any military members were killed. So I think that's what he was trying to avoid. And I think that's also why he was trying to get out so fast, because the quicker that he can get out, right? This is why they evacuated the military first. When people are like, well, why do you do all this? Why'd you do all that? Why'd you get the military out? Well, because they don't want any military members killed, okay? The save face for his presidency to say, well, I got everybody out alive, right? Nobody was killed on the way out. And I think that that's what his main focus was. But that's a trade-off that he made. He made that trade-off in exchange for basically leaving Americans behind, potentially not getting all Americans who want to be out. And ultimately, Biden making that trade-off put our military in a position of weakness, because they thought that the Afghan army could hold back the Taliban, right? At least hold back long enough that, Americans could get out if something was to happen, that, they wouldn't take over the country this fast, that things wouldn't fall apart this fast. However, they underestimated the Taliban and they overestimated the power of the Afghan army and their willingness to actually fight. Okay? So essentially, Biden trying to score political points put us in a position of weakness. And this is why we're in the position that we're in right now. And I think that's what's happening here, guys. But unfortunately for Biden, it seems that he gambled and he lost, because American military members ended up dying anyways, right? Which is what he says he was trying to avoid, which I think that's what he was trying to avoid. So this is an absolute disaster in the Biden. It's an absolute disaster. And it's only going to get worse. This man literally might be forced out of office just from negative public opinion by the time this is all said and done with. He won't make it to 2024. As old as the guy is, guys, can you imagine how much stress this man is under right now? I wouldn't wish being in Biden's position on anybody right now. I wouldn't. I already know he's not the man for the job. He can't handle the pressure. We're not going to hear anything from him today. And that's just how it's going to go. Now, let's read a little bit more about what's going on here before I get into the rest of my commentary. A dozen U.S. service members were killed and 15 wounded Thursday when 2 explosions rocked an area outside Kabul's airport, the Pentagon said. Now, keep in mind, guys, this is as of me doing this video, which is like 3:37 p.m. on, East Coast time, right? So more information about this is going to come out, okay? So if you're seeing this late on in the day, I'm doing this a little bit early in the day, okay? Taliban sources told NBC News that 13 people, including children, were killed in what they describe as a suicide attack. Russia's foreign ministry gave the same death toll. The explosions came hours after the U.S. and its allies had warned of a potential terrorist attack at the airport as thousands gathered in a desperate effort to flee after the Taliban takeover of the country. Pentagon spokesman John Kirby said on Twitter that there was an initial blast outside the airport's Abbey Gate and at least one other explosion at or near the Barron Hotel, a short distance away. U.S. Marine Corps General Frank McKenzie promised action against those responsible. Quote, yes, if we can find who's associated with this, we will go after them, McKenzie told reporters. We've been clear all along that we maintain the right to operate against ISIS in Afghanistan. He added, we're prepared to take action against them 24/7. We are looking for them. Okay, so that brings up an interesting question. Because this group of people, they're enemies of the Taliban, and obviously they're enemies of the United States as well. With this attack happening, is Biden going to change his mind in regards to staying in Afghanistan? That is the real question. I don't have the answer to that question. I don't know whether he will or he won't. But at this point, again, I mean, how can you continue to pull out, potentially leaving Americans behind, and now having service members be killed and not going after those who killed members of our military? That's a hard situation, man. That's a hard situation, okay? And what's crazy to me, guys, is that, there are people on the left, progressives, whom have defended Biden. Matter of fact, some people, like progressive commentator Kyle Kalinske, made a video yesterday basically saying that this is a wildly successful withdrawal. Take a look.
We're withdrawing from Afghanistan. The Taliban took over Afghanistan. There's nothing Biden could do about that, unless you want to permanently stay there, which I don't. So we're withdrawing from Afghanistan. The Taliban takes over Kabul. The thousands of troops, about 6,000 troops we sent there to secure the airport, secured the airport. We've had 70,000, over 70,000 evacuated, and not a single American has died. I'm no genius, but that looks like a wild success to me. That looks like the best it could have possibly gone to me. Now, listen, I don't want to speak too soon. I guess the mission's not over yet. They're going to finish it on August 31st, by August 31st, and the Taliban says no extensions after that. Biden's like, we're going to finish it by August 31st. So, I'm not declaring victory yet, but to this point, soon as we learn the facts on the ground that we're not changeable and that we're going to happen no matter what, it's gone as good as it could possibly go. Now look at what the media said about it and look at what's actually happening.
That's not going to age well, right? That's not going to age well at all. This is why leadership matters. This is why progressive ideology is toxic, because that's who Biden was caving to. Biden was caving to the woke left, okay? Just saying, we need to just pack up and leave. We don't care how we do it. We just going to get out to say that I got out. I got out. But when you do it sloppily, like Biden did, like taking out the military first, not supporting the Afghan military, right, with our Air Force, allowing the Taliban to basically take over most of the country without weapons, by the way, yeah, you're going to face some criticism for it. Yeah, things are going to fall apart. And it's 100% on Biden because he executed this in the worst way possible. But you got people out here on the left saying, oh, well, it's wildly successful because we're getting out. It's just the mainstream media going after him because, the establishment wants to stay in Afghanistan forever. And listen, I'm not saying I disagree with that point in regards to why the mainstream media is going after Biden. But their reason for going after him doesn't mean that going after him is wrong. It doesn't mean that they're wrong on going after him. They're actually right. Because he is doing it in a way that's sloppy. He is doing it in a way that now has cost American military members lives. It has cost American lives. Because if Biden would have kept the military there strong, and if we would have supported the Afghanistan army while conducting the pullout, saying, listen, y'all got to go. Okay, we got to get all the Americans out. If we would have got all the refugees, all the people that helped us out, if we would have done all this while helping the Afghan army keep the Taliban at bay, then we're not faced with a situation where we have a ton of people at an airport trying to get out, some of whom are Americans, some of whom are military. We won't have all that, because guess what? At that point, once all the Americans out, once all the people that have helped us are out, then, hey, our military, we can get out. After that, whatever happens, happens, right? At that point, we've got everybody out that we need to have out. That's how it should have went down. I'm not one of these people that's acting like, oh, this wouldn't have happened no matter what. I'm not going to say that. Of course it would have happened. Of course, right? Even if Trump was president, I believe Trump would have executed in a way that would have avoided this situation. But once we were gone, yeah, of course, the Taliban was going to take over again. Okay, so I'm not one of these people that are pretending like it was not inevitable. It definitely was. But there's a way that you do it. And regardless of why the media is doing it, even if they have nefarious reasons for doing it, the media is right for going after Biden. And they should have been going after him fairly even before the man was elected, right? Even during the presidential campaign season, they should have been going after him the way they're going after him now. Because if they would have been doing that then, there's a good chance that we wouldn't even be in this situation at all. That we would have some competent leadership in the White House. So, like I said, man, I don't understand how anybody can sit here and try to defend Biden on this. Right? You got some people out there on the left that are just going to defend it no matter what. I mean, you got this guy, Malcolm Nance, who's out here basically saying we need to deal with it. Right? Oh, this happens all the time. Deal with it. Deal with it? What are you talking about? We're losing U.S. military members' lives. Okay? We're losing American lives. Are you talking about deal with it? Is that how far your nose is up Biden's ass? That you're willing to throw away American lives just for the sake of defending Biden? Belittle the deaths of our brave soldiers just so that you can make an excuse for why Biden is doing such a piss poor job? There's some real hacks out here, man. And this is why progressives really just, they piss me off. They don't live in reality where, you know, everything is just as cut as dry as just pull out, right? Don't worry about anything else. Just pull out. Just get out. Okay? They think things are so much more simple than they actually are. And this is why I would never trust one of them to lead this country. And Biden caving to the woke left is the reason why we're in this situation, because this is what the woke left wanted. They wanted this type of withdrawal. They wanted the withdrawal no matter what. Again, I'm for the withdrawal. And it doesn't make me pro-war to criticize Biden for the fact that he did it wrong. So, again, I hope and I pray that, you know, there's not more of these attacks. Watching situation. Again, my thoughts and prayers are with our military members, the ones that lost their lives and the ones that are still over there bravely trying to get Americans back home. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.